Hi guys, myself Malaysia from Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, USN 97, subject OOPS with Java, subject code BCS 306A. Today I will discuss about primitive data types and types variables. Primitive types in programming are the basic data types that are built into programming language. These types are used to represent simple values and are the foundation of all complex data structures. In this document, we will explore the various primitive data types, including integers, floating points, characters, and booleans, along with the examples and common operations. Integers. Integers are the whole numbers without decimal points. Integers are the fundamental primitive data type used to represent whole number without decimal points, and they can be positive or negative or zero. In programming, integers are commonly used for counting and indexing. They have a defined range based on the number of bits allocated for their storage, which varies depending on the programming language. Let's discuss about floating point types. Number with decimal points. Floating point types are used to represent numbers with decimal points like 1.444. They are the essential for the task involving precise numeric calculation in such a factories such as a scientific and engineering computations. And it is more important to aware of the limitations of the floating point representation, including potential errors rounding errors due to their finite precision. Characters representing letters, digits, symbol, or spaces. Characters are used to represent like letters like A, B, C, digits 1, 2, 3, symbols like hashtag, star, and symbols, spaces, programming in programming. They are essential for processing and manipulating textual data. Each character is essential internally represented by a numeric code according to the specific character encoding standard such as a ASCII or Unicode. Booleans represent true or false value. Booleans are fundamental primitive data types that represent concept of true or false. They are the crucial for making decisions and controlling the flow of program. Booleans are often the result of relational and logical operations. It is used in a programming to check whether it's a true or false, and they play a significant role in conditional statements like loops, if loop, while, do while. It can play more important role in the loops, and it represent true or false concept. It is a more important in programming language. Example of integers and floating point types. Consider an example of an integer representing the quantity of items in a shopping cart, and floating point type representing the price of each item. And integers are ideal for counting the number of items, while floating point types accurately exactly represent the cost, including fractional values, ensuring precision in financial calculations. Example of characters and booleans. Imagine a scenario where characters are used to Input, name or represent symbols in a text. Booleans are employed to determine the availability of an item or both. Confirm a user's agreement to terms and conditions. Both characters and booleans are fundamental in numerous real-world applications, are vital in programming logic and user interaction. Common operations on primitive variables. Operations such as a arithmetic addition, adding the two numbers, subtract two numbers, multiplication, multiplying the two numbers, and dividing the two numbers, and comparison, equality and equal, comparing the two equations, and equality and inequality are common for primitive types. These operations are enabled the manipulation and comparison of numerical values, characters, and boolean comparison of numerical values like numbers, characters like A, B, C, Ds, and boolean conditions if true false, forming the basis of algorithm computations and decision making in software systems. Example of integer and float value, characters, and booleans. The practical applications of primitive types can be observed in a various scenarios, such as a managing inventory, using integers and floating point types, text processing, utilizing characters, and decision-making logic, employing booleans. And these examples illustrate the e- equality and importance of primitive data types across the diverse domains of software development. Conclusion. In conclusion, an understanding in conclusion, an understanding the primitive types is foundational for every programmer. Like integers and floating point types, characters are the play main role in the programming language, and booleans, if else, true, false, while do while form the building blocks for storing and processing data. It is a building block for the programming language, store the data, and which can use it to store processing the data, and their proper usage is a critical for the and their proper usage for the critical for the correctness and efficiency of software applications. Thank you for watching my video.